Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the August 4th edition of studentloanjustice.org. If you're new to the group, welcome. Got just a quick live stream for you here tonight. I am proud to report that the petition has picked up 15,000 signatures since this weekend. Change.org/cancel student loans. Do whatever you can to push that. Second thing, please donate, folks. Just please donate. I think we need 18 people to donate $20 or more for this week's fundraising. Just please do it. Third thing, we got a really good quote in the Hill today in an article about how people are not impressed with Joe Biden's efforts to cancel student loans. And you can read the article for yourself. If you look at just Google The Hill and Alan Collins or student loans and Joe Biden, look for the most recent thing. Good quote. Hopefully more to come on that soon. So tonight, guys, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. Joe Biden had a press conference today about all the efforts that they are taking to cancel student loans. And I'm here to tell you guys, do not believe it. If you have a question or comment as I'm doing this live stream, and if I can see it, then I'll happily respond to it on air if you're watching us on Facebook or Twitter. Don't believe all the nonsense that Joe Biden said today about how he's trying so hard to cancel student loans. Guys, that's just not true. That negotiated rule-making session that they just announced is crap. It's a dog and pony show, I think they call it. It's all for show. It's all for votes. The point of it isn't to cancel loans. If Joe Biden wanted to cancel loans, he could cancel every nickel today by executive order through the Higher Education Act. He'd probably get sued, but he could do it. And I think he'd win that lawsuit, by the way. The law is very broad and unambiguous. Joe Biden is not impressive to us, ladies and gentlemen, and even less impressive, less sincere is the Department of Education. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been dealing with the Department of Education for decades now, and I can tell you that the Department of Education has no desire or intentions of actually canceling any loans. And this negotiated rulemaking session they announced, I can already tell you what their hidden agenda is. Their agenda is to restrict, is to constrain the secretary's ability to cancel student loans very broadly, very widely, very deeply, very meaningfully. And the most important thing about that press conference is you didn't hear Joe Biden mention bankruptcy even one time in that press conference. And what do you know? After the press conference, they put out a press release talking about, we're canceling $9 billion in student loans. Guys, since the loans were turned back on a little over a month ago, $10 billion in interest has accrued to the Department of Education. In a typical year, $100 billion in interest accrues, $108 billion a year in interest accrues to the Department of Education. So we're seeing the Department of Education and Joe Biden do exactly what the student loan swamp has always done, ladies and gentlemen. Please just don't fall for it. If you would, please don't. Don't do it, guys. We got to get our bankruptcy rights back. That is the number one goal of this group, always has been. We're fully on board with student loan cancellation. It's got to happen. In fact, this group started the petition at change.org/cancel student loans. That petition ignited the whole entire public debate about canceling student loans by executive order. We're totally for it. But guys, I'm here to tell you, we are not going to see any meaningful student loan cancellation unless and until we get the leverage of bankruptcy returned to the loans. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. It's a terrible thing to have to do. But until and unless we have that leverage on our side, we can't expect anything good to happen. And the past 3.5 years have, I think, demonstrated that. If we had our bankruptcy rights back in January 2020, when COVID first hit, we would have seen very meaningfully, very widespread, maybe even total loan cancellation. So whether you would ever or never file for bankruptcy, that's not important. Very few people will. No one actually should have to once we get the right returned. Just getting that leverage back is what is absolutely needed for everyone with student loans, including you. No matter what you want to see happen with your student loans, we got to get the right of bankruptcy return as it exists for all their loans, all of their borrowers. It's the most important thing I say. It's the most important thing I'll say tonight, for sure. So please, whatever's holding you back from helping this group, you need to kick that to the curb. These are your loans. This is your livelihood. There's no other groups anywhere out there fighting for bankruptcy. That is very suspicious, quite frankly. And these groups that we're seeing in this space, which we created, by the way, we are the oldest, largest, and first true grassroots group fighting for student loan justice. Whatever's motivating those groups, guys, I can tell you that they are corrupted. And I don't want to go in too much detail there because, as I said, I'm going to keep this live stream very short tonight. But I'm here to tell you that the other groups are completely full of shit, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They shouldn't even be operating in this space if they don't understand the importance for bankruptcy, for everything, including real, meaningful student loan cancellation. I think they're smarter than that, guys. I think they do know that. And as I said, at least a couple of the groups are literally in bed with the student loan industry. This is AstroTurf. So I don't know what to tell you guys, but it's getting real. The loans are now turned back on, and we are going to be screwed. In fact, we are screwed right now. This is the number one fantasy of the student debt collection industry. We've been served up to them like turkey at the Thanksgiving dinner. That's happening right now as we speak. And if you care about that, if you sitting there care about this, you will help us. You will help this group. It's not hard to help us. The number one thing that you can do, the first and best thing that you should do, is go to our website, studentloanjustice.org, and do our daily actions. I'm going to dial that in for you right now. There it is, studentloanjustice.org/daily action, or just go to that link. Get into the habit of doing our daily actions every single day. This group is way more important than we appear, guys. And if even 10% of the people on our group, that's 1.5 million people nearly, if even 10% of our people were doing our daily actions, we'll have this problem solved in a matter of months. If 10% of the people on our group have been doing our daily actions since January 1st, the student loan problem would be solved as of many months ago. And I could get on with my life as you could get on with yours. So we need you. We need you. And the least that you can do is doing our daily actions. We're also asking all of our members to get us into meetings with your House representative and both of your senators. 3 meetings we need you to orchestrate. Bring us in. Give them my contact info. You can see streaming below. Bring us into the meeting. It's the second thing you do. Third thing that you can do, and anybody can do and should do, and we've gotten many dozens out, but everybody should be writing a letter to the editor of your local newspaper and calling at a minimum for the return of bankruptcy protections to student loans. It's the most important thing, guys. You didn't hear Biden mention that today, did you? No, he didn't even mention it. It's often what they don't say that is what's really important. And so was it today with Joe Biden's presser and his very loud avoidance of even mentioning bankruptcy. So, okay, I see we have a couple comments here. I'm going to try and get through them. Hey, Vanjie Enru, how are you? Vanjie in California, she says, they haven't canceled any loans that shouldn't have already been canceled in the first place. Great point, Vanjie. You know, all the loans that we've seen Joe Biden cancel were loans that were scheduled to be canceled in some cases many years or even decades ago through the various income-driven repayment plans, through the borrower defense to repayment deal. It's absolutely true, Vanjie. And, you know, you actually reminded me of something. Let me share my screen with you real quick. So I mentioned today, the Department of Education mentions this $9 billion student loan cancellation. Well, since the first of last month, $10 billion in interest has accrued to Washington, D.C. And here you can see Here's the big picture on all the loan cancellation that we've seen from Joe Biden since he took office. He's canceled. I have to update these numbers a little bit. He's canceled roughly $125 billion, which sounds like a lot. But as Vanjie rightly points out, these are loans that should have been canceled years ago. I would also add that these are loans that, by and large, this was bad debt. This was garbage paper that they never would have gotten much on in the first place. They were legally obligated to cancel them, and finally they have. Good for them. But guys, that doesn't solve the problem. Joe Biden could cancel $125 billion every 2.5 or 3 years forever. And the student loan balance, the federal student loan portfolio, would still grow by something like $1.5 trillion over 10 years. Actually, more than that, because I'm not including a lot of capitalized interest in that. So, guys, just please don't believe all the propaganda that's being thrown at us right now. I don't know if you're paying or not paying on your student loans, but in my humble opinion, nobody should. Nobody should be feeding this unconstitutionally predatory, unconscionable, nation-wrecking beast. Don't feed the beast. Why would you do that? But anyways, that's my my humble opinion, and you may have your own. I'm sorry, guys. I can't get to any more comments. I said I was going to keep it short tonight, and I'm going to stick to that. So, dudes, we need you. We need you helping us. This is your battle. You are not better than us. Your student loans are on the line here, your livelihood. And take it from me or Vanjie or some of the older people on the group, you do not want to spend your entire adult life trapped by these loans. Life is far bigger and better than that. The fact that these loans even exist at all is, quite frankly, I think a bit of a travesty at this point. We don't have to put up with this, guys. And this problem is very easily solved when you, sitting there, get off your ass and help us. Nobody else in this group can do your work for you. Can't pull your weight for you. Vanjie pulls her weight. Thousands of people in our group are pulling their weight, but that's not nearly enough, guys. Not nearly enough. So if you really want to help, do that stuff that I said earlier, starting with doing our daily actions. And we can and will, absolutely, I guarantee you, we will have this problem solved in a matter of months if even 10% of the people in our group are doing our daily actions at a minimum. Be part of the 10%, would you, please? And to everybody out there who's doing the hard work, you know I salute you. We are the warriors. We are the pioneers. We are not only the tip of the spear in the fight for actual, not pretend, actual student loan justice. We are the fucking spear. We're not only the eye of the storm, we are the entire storm. So keep that in mind. This fight is way more important than just us. If they can do to other loans with the student loans, they will. This is the camel's nose under the tent. So you should be very proud to be fighting this fight. And I look forward to seeing more of you on our group, on our Twitter chats, you name it, helping us. Because it's only going to get harder for us going forward, particularly now that the loans have been turned back on. Don't flee. Fight. We need you in this fight. Fighting this fight with us. So I'm going to leave it there at that, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Good luck. Godspeed doing our daily actions and the other things I mentioned. And God bless everyone.